Dragon Ball AF Original Series, Young Gigi. Goten died in his fight against the old purple-haired Saiyan. Trunks is gonna use his new transformation to avenge him, but will he succeed? And will Gohan make it in time for this brutal battle? Well, let's see all this now. Grab your bucket of popcorn and your soda. Come with me. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment on the video. Well, without further ado, let the story begin. With Goten's tragic death, all that could be seen was a brief silence between Trunks and the purple-colored old Saiyan. Until the silence was broken by Trunks, who said he didn't understand the nature of the purple Saiyan. It was the first time he witnessed such a cruel and fast act in front of him. The old Saiyan, who still had a smile on his face, says, "Well, what can I tell you about that? It's always been natural for our race to perform acts like that in battle. It's no use showing mercy to the weak." The boy called Goten witnessed it with his own eyes. With a disgusted expression on his face, Trunks still couldn't believe the kind of thoughts the old Saiyan had and says, "I still can't understand your thinking. Weren't you saying a few minutes ago that you lived after strong people to fight? And even so, after so many clashes, you never met someone who you never had the will to fight?" The purple Saiyan began to outline a confident smile on his face, and with that simplicity he always expressed, he said, Your questions are really repetitive. But to answer your question, even if my actions are against your will or against your principles, you will still be willing to want to fight, won't you? As you just saw in relation to your friend, with all certainty, you will do everything to survive. I hope you are willing to continue the fight. In the end, the wills or circumstances that are the opposite of mine do not interest me or make the slightest difference. Determined to fight and have emotionally deadly fights for both of them. That's what being a Saiyan is all about. The purple Saiyan then points his finger in what appears to be the direction of Goten. As he does so, he says, "Anyway, since you've asked me so many bizarre questions, it's my turn to ask a question. The person you're holding, tell me, why are you holding him? The weak don't need to be on the battlefield. It's just leftover garbage that will hinder the fight, especially if they're dead. So you better throw that garbage away. It's no longer usable," said the purple Saiyan with an intrigued expression. He didn't understand Trunks' act. After all, the boy he killed was no longer in this world, and was no longer good for anything on this battlefield. After the purple Saiyan's sentence, he said, Trunks was stunned by his words, and entering before Trunks knew something happened. Goten's body ended up being removed from his arms at a speed that Trunks ended up not noticing. Goten's body is quickly levitated by the purple-haired Saiyan, which makes Trunks become alert and look towards his friend. And suddenly, the purple Saiyan, who had an evil smile on his face, starts to make a movement with his fingers, pointing them towards Goten. At the same moment, Trunks acts in despair, asking the purple Saiyan not to continue with his movement. And seeing that only his words would not be enough, he goes towards Goten at high speed to save him, but not come on time. Goten's body is reduced to dust. It was not possible to see any more of his physical parts. His body was completely obliterated. Trunks, who was just looking at it in disbelief, starts to cry, lamenting what had happened to Goten. The Saiyan seemed to be happy with what he had done for him. The act was just a way to clean up the rubbish that would disrupt the rhythm of his fight. He was satisfied and could continue now. Trunks, baffled, outraged, and immensely angry at the purple Saiyan, says, I just can't believe a guy like you exists, and you still have the nerve to make us smile like that? How could you do that? If expressed Trunks, who was sad, and who at the same time felt guilty for not being able to save his friend. The purple Saiyan, who ignores Trunks' words, says, Now you can move more freely, right? I've already done the cleaning. There'll be nothing left to disturb the fight. As I said earlier, this boy's body was no longer usable for anything. The Saiyan does not stop and continues his sentence. You say you were feeling obligated to fight me, but now I feel an overwhelming urge to fight coming directly from you. I really can't understand you. You Saiyans really are complicated. But the purple Saiyan continues his speech and says, I don't understand your anger. You're very strange. Don't you realize that I only helped you remove the obstacle that was in your way? Now there's nothing left to get in the way of the fight. You should thank me. Right after the purple Saiyan speaks, Trunks begins to increase his ki. His aura begins to be surrounded by a more aggressive air, which expressed his immense anger and indignation with the whole situation he had witnessed. Trunks' aura was such that the Purple Saiyan was beginning to be baffled by his strength, increasing so quickly. Trunks' anger and indignation was so great that it made him reach Super Saiyan 3, something that would previously only be possible with the fusion. At the same moment, Trunks, who seemed to have no conscience, says, "You wretched bastard. I will destroy you all. Along with that sick thought you carry, you will all pay dearly." With Trunks' immediate transformation, the other Saiyans accompanying the Purple Saiyan were becoming interested in this transformation and couldn't take their eyes off the fight that was going to take place. Leaving for another place, Gohan was going on a high-speed course to arrive in time at the battlefield, in which resided the key wielder he had sensed in the library earlier. He was worried that Goten's ki was fading, but not only that, the fact that Trunks' ki had exploded also meant something else, but Gohan didn't know. He immediately hurried up and increased his speed even more, hoping to make it in time. Back on the battlefield, the fight is already more than ready to happen, and with a brief silence broken by Trunks, he goes toward the Purple Saiyan and wields his left punch to damage the Purple Saiyan, but the Purple Saiyan defends and returns with a right punch. The Purple Saiyan doesn't have time to pause. He immediately performs a lunge with his knee, but Trunks makes use of the block, which gives Trunks an opening to use a right punch, but the Purple Saiyan dodges by ducking. Then the Purple Saiyan sends a hook towards Trunks, but with the speed of Trunks he manages to dodge the attack. Both begin to go all out at each other, executing several consecutive blows and being followed by various forms of attacks. With this huge exchange of blows, Trunks finally lands his blow on the Purple Saiyan's face, and right after he punches his stomach, Trunks finishes with a kick and sends the old Purple Saiyan away. With Trunks' last attack, the Purple One turns out to be taken by surprise. Trunks starts projecting a huge ball of energy and sends it towards the Purple Saiyan. As the purple-haired Saiyan didn't have any artifact or power to reflect Trunks' ball, he was trying to support it with his hands, and he ends up doing so, succeeding in throwing the energy ball into the sky. With this recent attack from Trunks, it was possible to see that the Purple Saiyan's teammates were nervous and excited about the fight. Upon receiving the attack, the purple-colored Saiyan speaks happily. "Ha ha ha ha, you really surprised me with that transformation. Everything about you is different. You're fighting like a true Saiyan. You really surprised me with that attack. But Trunks, what do you say we increase our powers even more? As it's my request, I hope you won't let me down." Trunks could only stare in bewilderment at what the purple person said. He couldn't believe that he still had more power to show. He really thought that the transformation the old Saiyan was using was his maximum power. The Saiyan with purple hair starts screaming rapidly, raising his ki to absurd amounts. His aura expands more and more, and it's possible to see his gigantic increase in power, until finally the transformation was complete, the second level of the old Saiyan's transformation. His appearance hadn't changed, but his hair was more spiky and centered back than before, and his eyebrows were thicker. "Alright then, without further ado, let's get on with our fight. It'll get much more interesting now, I guarantee you," said the Purple Saiyan, who was getting more and more excited. Trunks, who couldn't hide his concern about this new transformation, quickly started talking to himself. "That's it. Now I understand. As we transform, they managed to keep up with us at an absurd pace. Not only that, but it also seems their level can be surpassing us a lot. Tell me, to what extent? Are you hiding your power?" Trunks spoke, who was scared. He didn't expect something like that. He wasn't expecting that they could acquire new transformations in a short period of time. Without answering Trunks' question, the Purple Saiyan immediately lunges at Trunks and punches him in the face, which sends Trunks flying. But the Purple Saiyan doesn't stop. He ends up chasing Trunks, who was moving, and lands an extremely powerful blow on Trunks' stomach. With that blow, the purple-haired Saiyan sends Trunks to the ground, making a large crater. But again, the Purple Saiyan doesn't stop, and unexpectedly tries to sink Trunks deeper and deeper into the ground. It was possible to see the macabre smile of the old Saiyan imposed on his face, and the pain that Trunks felt when he was spitting a lot of blood. But for Nas, it was still not enough. He immediately projects a giant ball of energy in front of Trunks and fires it at close range in a brutal way. The crater that was made was huge, and all that could be seen was a totally destroyed Trunks, who was no longer in his Super Saiyan 3 form. But in that same instant, his blow was stopped by a hand that had reached out. Gohan had arrived. Finally, Gohan arrives to fully stop this situation. Guys, but what was that? This chapter was simply too much, both in the sense of sadness and in the sense of struggle, don't you think? We realize that these old Saiyans really don't care about others, and that they carry the thought that weak people should die. This chapter was amazing, but what did you think? Please comment in the comments, because only then will I know that you felt like watching this chapter. It was really shocking. But anyway, guys, the video unfortunately ends here. I'm waiting for you in the next video.